guys. Happy Thursday. It's so crazy because, like, I can't believe it's already almost Friday. Like, it just seemed like I just did a freaking flashback Friday. Like, the other day. That's how it feels to me. So the weeks be going by really fast. But hopefully you guys are doing good, and if I don't see you guys tomorrow, hopefully you guys have a great weekend. And all that good stuff. So I think last time I was speaking about the new earth and everything, right? And so, which is really interesting to me. I find it really interesting because of the fact that just because of my experiences, I guess, and just how much it actually means to my life, to be honest. And I say that because, well, back in 2020, as I mentioned before, that was the first time I actually heard anything regarding the new earth, was through the astrologists, right? And so as time went on, so they literally came on my phone, literally, like, and they were telling me all this information about the world and how certain things were going to happen. And as they're telling me all this information, I was freaked out because of the whole situation. Like, who wouldn't be freaked out if you, like, all of a sudden some astrologist just pop on your phone and start telling you all these things and events that are gonna transpire later. So I was, like, freaked out at the time, and so, like, I knew nobody was gonna understand me or, like, believe me. So I kind of didn't tell anybody too much about it. But, like, over time, I think that was in 2020. So, like, I believe, like, during that time, like, after that, I started getting more information regarding how to, like, stay on the right path, and to always seek God and always seek the light versus the dark, right? And so I would get, like, teachings from, like, ancient teachings from different sources that actually helped me to stay on the right track, right? Like, regardless of what was going on, regardless of my adversities or anything, like, it actually helped me to stay on track, and not fall. So that was after the astrologist told me the information, right? And so over time I did, like, go through a lot of obstacles and face a lot of adversities and just a lot of, like, negativity. And so over the time, it just helped me, like, overcome it and stay on track just by the teachings by itself in general, and God, of course. But it's like he helped me through the teachings too. And especially, I would say, like, the Emerald Tablets was the main one for me as far as, like, me striving, because I know I had a lot of adversities and, like, a lot of things that were thrown my way, and it helped me actually stay on track and strive through the obstacles and seek the light, because he mentions in the tablets, like, regardless of the adversities and obstacles, the only way that you can make it to the light is through strife, right? So I believe it, because through all the hardships I had, I still was able to strive through it. And the more that I strived through it, the more confident I became, and the stronger I became, I believe, because of me being able to overcome it, And so it helped a lot. Sorry, it was kind of loud over there. I think the guy's, like, cutting the grass. Hopefully you guys can hear me. But no, it actually helped me, like, continue to strive regardless of what was going on in my life, and because I knew God had my back regardless, but at the same time, the teachings actually helped me stay on the right path, if that makes sense. And like, so no matter how hard it was and how dark it was for me, I always was able to strive through it, and continue to go regardless of what was thrown at me or how hard it was, and I knew like if I was able to strive through it, then eventually I would get to the light and be on the right path, and I knew eventually it was going to work out for me in the end as long as I did the right thing, and so I know that the teachings of the Emerald Tablets actually helped me a lot, especially with overcoming adversities, just striving through it, and just never going towards darkness and doing malicious things just because of my situation, but actually striving through it, putting the hard work into it to be able to get to the light in the end, and by me following certain teachings, it helped me evolve in a way, to be honest with you. So like a lot of times if I do have obstacles or anything like that, I just know better not to like go down the wrong path because of it, and instead strive through it and overcome the obstacle, and it just pretty much made me stronger each time, and I didn't have to dibble and dabble into darkness to get to where I needed to go or get what I needed to get, for myself. I just did it the right way, and by me doing it the right way, I was able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't know if I was gonna be safe or okay. I thought like, I never knew I knew deep down inside I was gonna make it, right? But like, if you go through such hardships a lot, if it's just like back to back, it's easy to give up on your faith, and kind of fall off. But I chose not to, because I always had it in my heart and in my soul. I always knew that I was gonna be okay and I was gonna make it, because I knew I had God on my side. And over years as I grew up and stuff, I always had dreams about Jesus coming down, and stuff. So like, God spoke to me a lot through my dreams as I was growing up and stuff. So I knew that he would always have my back, and with his guidance and everything, I would be okay. And I am. And it's because I had the faith that I would be, and on top of that, I was getting teachings along the way that actually helped me. So every time I would feel like my faith is wavering, or like I'll get discouraged or anything like that, I always had the teachings that kind of kept me on track, and helped me keep pushing through. And that's why I talk about the teachings a lot, regardless of if anyone believes them or not, because I know it actually helped me through my journey and to get to where I needed to be spiritually and mentally and physically, everything. It helped a lot. And so that was the first time I experienced anything regarding the new earth, was through the astrologist back in 2020 when I was traveling through Utah. So I didn't really tell anybody too much about that, because everybody thought I was crazy anyway, because of what I was experiencing, wasn't really normal, but it was true. But so then, so I started receiving the teachings after 2020, and I believe in 2022, I believe, was when I had the dream regarding the new earth again. So the first time it was a vision on the highway from the astrologist in 2020. The second time was through a dream that I had. I dreamt I was on this, it looked like a spaceship. So it was some type of ship, but I think it was a spaceship. And the reason why I say it was a spaceship is because I recall the windows on the ship were like oval, but they're really tiny, but they're oval shaped. And I remember the room, it was, when I would look out the window, you could see out the window, you know, it was just pitch black. So you can't really see no light or anything. It was just dark when you look out the oval windows. And then there were bunk beds. So there are bunks and stuff in the room, but they're really clean, really neat. And there was no one in the bunks. So I was like the only one in this particular room. I think there was a few other people, but they're in different rooms. And it was only a few people. It wasn't a lot of people. Like, I didn't even see anybody in my dream. It was just me in this room. And I remember seeing the bunks and in my specific room. And then I looked out the window. It was just dark. And then, so I walked over to, there was like this chest. And it had different drawers attached to it. And I remember I opened the last drawer. It was the bottom drawer I opened. And I pulled out this pamphlet. And the pamphlet, it was like, it looked like, it was as big as like a passport booklet, right? It was maybe a little bit bigger than that. But it was a pamphlet. So I opened up this drawer. And there's a pamphlet inside of it. So I pulled out the pamphlet. And I read it. And it said The New Earth on it. Like, literally on the pamphlet, it said New Earth, or it said The New Earth on the pamphlet. So I grabbed it out the drawer and I was just looking at it in my hand. And I was just like, this is weird. So I woke up like immediately after that. So nothing else occurred in that dream. But when I woke up, I was like, this is weird. Why I just keep getting information about the New Earth? You know, and that was like 2 years later after I experienced the situation with the astrologists on the highway, you know, when they were speaking about the New Earth. So the second dream I had, I was just like, that's weird. I was like, what is going on with the New Earth? Like, this is the second time I had an encounter regarding the New Earth. The first time was the astrologist, and the second time was the pamphlet, you know. And so I don't know what the deal is with that, but I know it has to do something with it because I kept seeing it. And but I know like the teachings helped me a lot with staying on track and keeping my faith on God, with God, you know, and knowing that I'll be okay in the end of the day as long as I did the right thing. Because it was really hard, and there's a lot of times I wanted to give up, but I chose not to, you know. And I just stuck it out into the end, no matter how hard it was. Another teaching too that I learned during that time frame was the Hermetic teachings too. So I think the important one that there's a lot of them that are important, but one specific principle that was really beneficial for me was the sixth principle. I believe it's the sixth one. It's the principle of cause and effect. So with every cause there is an effect, of course. And so even if I had like adversities thrown at me, or anyone trying to bring me down, bring my name down, or hurt me in general, like I knew, like as long as I followed the laws of the universe and in general, you know, I would be okay in the end because of the laws of the cause and effect. The principle of cause and effect, you know, everything, every cause has its effects. So I knew, like, if I just stayed on track and did everything I was supposed to do the right way and not fight fire with fire and follow the cosmic laws and just the law in general, you know, eventually it will all even out in the end and everything will go back the way that it was supposed to be, like from its original state. So anything that was taken from me will eventually come back to me, because if it was altered in any way, it's not the way that was originally supposed to be. And so it'll eventually go back to its original state as long as I followed the laws the correct way. So I knew, like, if anybody was throwing certain negativity towards me, I knew that it was going to be evened out in the end and everything will go back the way it's supposed to be, because it's an illusion, right? Like, if anything was taken from me, like, unjustly, or anything that was done to me that was unjust, you know, by me following the laws the correct way and being true to myself and others, you know, I knew eventually it will all go back to the original state of how it's supposed to be, right? Because with every cause there is an effect. So with all the negativity that if anybody was drawing in towards me, eventually they're going to get that back, right? And everything will be leveled out the way it's supposed to be for me because of what I put out, right? Which was nothing but love and the truth, pretty much. And so the principle of cause and effect actually helped me a lot too, as far as like not giving up and knowing that eventually, you know, everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to be, supposed to work out. So the principle of cause and effect, you know, no, it's pretty much like nothing's above the law, you know, nothing escapes the law. So if you're breaking certain laws or doing things that's unjust, you know, you're gonna get the effects of that, right? So eventually they'll get it back, right? And then eventually I'll get back what I'm supposed to have because I'll follow the laws the correct way, if that makes sense, universally and physically. You know, and it's true, because like everything you do put out, eventually it will come back to you regardless of the time frame, you know. But that helped a lot. But yeah, the new earth thing, the whole situation with that, it was crazy in the beginning because I was just like, what are they talking about? But then like over time it just made more sense to me. And then like, especially like with the teachings too, on top of that, it kind of like, I don't know, it helped a great deal with me being able to overcome so much, you know, and staying at a certain level mentally to be able to continue to grow and evolve, you know. And then they teach you to, which I mentioned many times before, how to polarize your mental states to the state that you want it to be or that it needs to be, so that way nothing, you know, outside forces or any distractions or anything like that can actually affect you, you know. And so I've learned a lot during my journey, but those are just the tools that actually helped me along my journey, you know, and especially with overcoming adversities and obstacles and the name calling, the slander, just everything that was placed upon me as far as lies and stuff, you know. And I just knew it was all gonna work out in the end, first of all, because I knew God, what he told me in the beginning, you know, that I was gonna be okay regardless of how hard it gets. And he said in the end I'll be blessed in the end as long as I do the right thing regardless of how hard it gets. And I believe I did the right thing because I'm in a way better space than I was maybe even a week or two ago. Every day it just gets better to me. And even from like a month ago, you know, I just feel blessed because I'm in a way better space than I was before, you know. And it has everything to do with God and my faith in him and not giving up on him. And I think he helped me with certain tools along my way with the teachings and everything to kind of guide me and keep me on the right path, you know. Because even with the teachings, it's just kind of like, what I get from it is kind of like just finding this God, the spirit of God within you, you know, because we all have the spirit of God within ourselves, you know, but it's just about finding it, going within yourself to be able to find that spirit within yourself, you know, and evolving, especially mentally and consciously, you know, to be able to find the spirit. But to actually truly be content with yourself because you have found the spirit within yourself, you know, to actually have the full wish fulfillment as far as being happy, you know, and that's what we're all searching for. But once you find the God within you, you know, which is because he's in everything, you know, then you'll be able to be truly content with yourself and be more closer to him, I believe, because he is within you too, right? You just got to learn how to like find him, you know, by like cleaning up like yourself and you know, clearing up all the anything that's throwing you off or leaving you astray, that's detrimental to yourself, you know, seeking help, self-love, pretty much, by finding self-love within yourself, working on certain things, childhood traumas, things that actually contribute to your depressions or addictions or anything, you know. And so yeah, I think back in the day, my main addiction was alcohol. Alcohol was my big one, but now it's so crazy because like I don't even think about alcohol. Like, even if people were like, let's go out to drink, I'd be like, I don't know. I like think twice, you know, but I'll drink, you know, only like on occasions or like a celebration. Yeah, that's fine. But like, as far as I used to be back in the day where I just drink to have fun, just party and do all this crazy stuff, like I don't even do that anymore. Because I just kind of like, it's because my mind has elevated so much that I know what's best for me and what's not, you know, and I understand now more regarding like balance. I can't be drinking all the time, you know, and as long as I have balance for certain things, then I'll be okay, you know, and just not let it overtake me, you know, to where I'm not getting my work done and I'm just relying on alcohol to feel good, you know. That's not really good. But that's what I used to do back in the day, and I don't do it anymore. And I'm proud of myself. So, I don't know. But I think God, like, sent me certain teachings to kind of help me stay on track and keep my faith. And it's worked. And that's why I knew, like, regardless of what was being thrown at me, I knew I was going to be able to make it. I didn't know how. But with my faith and being resilient to a lot of things that were thrown to me and not like kind of backlashing and, you know, doing certain negative things to other people just because I was upset, you know, that was all eliminated because of my faith and the teachings too on how to like transmute darkness into light. Transmutation, pretty much. So I kind of know how to transmute negativity into positivity, pretty much, instead of letting the negativity control me in my life, right? But I knew eventually I'd be okay in the end. Everything will go back the way that it's supposed to be, and because I think I did everything the right way. And once you do it that way, the universe starts working with you. And regardless of what's thrown at you, if it's not supposed to be that way, it's not going to be that way. It'll eventually work itself out in the end, as long as you're strong and you strive through it and you don't take any shortcuts or do malicious things to other people. But anyway, I'm gonna get off of here and enjoy the rest of my day. So hopefully you guys do the same. And I hope you guys enjoy your weekend if you guys don't see me again. And all that good stuff. So, I love you guys. Bye.